Hidden beneath Colombia's endless forests lies a world governed by nature's harshest laws. Where every sunrise begins with a hunt. Every river conceals deadly predators. And every creature has only one choice: hunt or become the hunted. Welcome to Colombia. Wild Colombia, kingdom of predators. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our next adventure. If you're watching this video, leave a comment below and let us know where you're watching from. Every year, the rainy season arrives in southern Colombia. Weeks of tropical downpours cause the Amazon's tributaries to overflow, spreading deep into Colombia's more than 400,000 square kilometer rainforest. Water engulfs the roots of ancient trees, transforming the forest into a vast maze where the boundary between land and water almost disappears. Amid this green ocean, giant ceiba trees still tower more than 60 meters above the dense canopy, reaching the first rays of sunlight each morning. Here, at a height where few predators can reach, a queen silently watches over her domain. It is the harpy eagle. Unlike most eagles that soar across open skies, the harpy eagle evolved to rule the tropical rainforest. Its broad yet relatively short wings allow it to weave effortlessly through dense trees in near-silent flight. Its long tail acts like a rudder, keeping its body perfectly balanced during sharp, high-speed turns. The harpy's most formidable weapon is its legs. Its curved talons, measuring more than 12 centimeters in length, generate enough crushing force to overpower even the largest prey living high in the canopy. But that power is not only meant to assert dominance. Hidden among the sea of green leaves, a three-toed sloth clings quietly to a branch. Its slow metabolism allows it to survive on just a few handfuls of leaves each day. Even its fur is coated with green algae, helping its body blend almost perfectly into the colors of the rainforest. This slowness is not an evolutionary flaw. A 2014 study published in PNAS found that sloths possess an enormous four-chambered stomach that accounts for up to 33% of their body weight. Because rainforest leaves are so difficult to digest, food can take anywhere from 2 weeks to an entire month to pass through their digestive system. This adaptation leaves a sloth's metabolic rate 40% to 50% lower than that of mammals of similar size. It allows sloths to conserve as much energy as possible, remaining motionless or moving so slowly that they often go unnoticed. That strategy has helped sloths deceive most predators. But it cannot fool the eyes of a harpy eagle. From dozens of meters above, the mother eagle waits patiently. Then the moment arrives. The harpy folds its wings and plunges straight down through the dense canopy. With a single, perfectly timed strike, its massive talons lock onto the sloth before it can tighten its grip on the branch. The hunt is over in just a few seconds. According to the Journal of Raptor Research, in some parts of the Amazon, sloths make up as much as 85% of the total prey biomass in the harpy eagle's diet. They are a vital source of nutrition for growing chicks. Carrying the reward from the hunt, the mother returns to the enormous nest perched high in an ancient tree. Hearing the familiar sound, the chick immediately begins calling. The mother tears the food into smaller pieces to feed it, while the father stands at the edge of the nest, quietly watching the surrounding forest. For nearly the first 6 months of its life, the chick remains entirely within the nest. Even after it develops the feathers needed to fly, it stays with its parents for many more months, gradually learning how to survive on its own in the rainforest. Raising just a single chick requires an extraordinary investment of time and energy. As a result, a pair of harpy eagles typically waits 2 to 3 years before breeding again. High above the Amazon rainforest, true strength is measured not only by a perfectly executed strike, but also by the patience required to raise the next generation. But the harpy eagle is not the only resident of this world above the forest. Farther across the canopy, a troop of spider monkeys begins swinging through the trees in search of ripe fruit after the rain. With their long arms, hands that almost completely lack thumbs, and powerful prehensile tails that function like a fifth limb, They move through the treetops with remarkable agility. During the day, the troop splits into smaller groups to forage, gathering together again as night falls. Along the way, they unknowingly disperse seeds throughout the forest, helping regenerate the Amazon rainforest with every rainy season. Not far away, a deep, resonant roar echoes through the trees, announcing the presence of red howler monkeys. Thanks to their highly specialized hyoid bone, their calls can travel for several kilometers, allowing neighboring troops to defend their territories without ever coming into conflict. Leaves are their primary food source, but they provide very little energy. As a result, after brief feeding periods, red howler monkeys spend most of the day resting high in the trees, conserving energy for the slow process of digestion. Nearby, a family of cotton-top tamarins quietly moves through the lower canopy. With their distinctive white crest, they are one of the rarest primates found only in Colombia. They live in close-knit family groups, searching for food together and caring for their young. After an infant is born, the father usually carries it on his back for most of the time, returning it to the mother only when it is time to nurse. In a rainforest filled with danger, that shared responsibility has become the key to the family's survival. As dawn gradually reaches the forest floor, the world beneath the canopy also begins to awaken. The winding rivers and flooded wetlands of Colombia's Amazon are home to one of the most formidable predators in the Americas. The jaguar. Its low, muscular body and powerful limbs allow it to swim across rivers, climb massive trees, and drag heavy prey onto shore. Its coat, covered in distinctive rosette patterns, blends perfectly with the shifting light and shadows beneath the rainforest canopy, making it almost invisible to its prey. But the jaguar's greatest weapon lies in its jaws. Possessing the most powerful bite relative to body size of any big cat, it can crush turtle shells, pierce the armor of armadillos, and even penetrate the skulls of large reptiles. For thousands of years, Colombia's Muisca and Tairona peoples revered the jaguar as the spirit of the forest. In sacred ceremonies, its image appeared on masks, ceremonial clothing, and traditional dances, symbolizing strength, protection, and the bond between humans and nature. One of the jaguar's most formidable rivals is the caiman. Its thick skin is reinforced with bony plates that protect nearly its entire body. Its eyes and nostrils sit on top of its head, allowing it to remain almost completely submerged while still seeing and breathing. For most of its life, the caiman reigns as the undisputed ruler of the Amazon's wetlands. The jaguar silently closes in, each step blending almost seamlessly with the muddy riverbank. When the distance is just right, it suddenly charges. The caiman thrashes violently, but it is already too late. The jaguar's powerful jaws clamp tightly onto the back of its skull. Within seconds, the confrontation is over. But the stillness is only an illusion. Beneath the murky water, another predator waits with unwavering patience. The green anaconda. As the heaviest snake on Earth, the green anaconda spends almost its entire life in the shallow waters of the Amazon. Its eyes and nostrils are positioned on top of its head, allowing it to remain nearly fully submerged while silently watching every movement around it. Its massive body is supported by the water, enabling it to glide with barely a ripple. Unlike the jaguar or the caiman, the anaconda does not rely on speed. It relies on patience. For hours or even days, it can remain perfectly motionless beneath the surface, waiting for prey to move within range before unleashing its crushing coils. The green anaconda does not lay eggs. After a pregnancy of about 7 months, the female gives birth to several dozen, sometimes more than 40, fully developed young. From the very moment they are born, they must swim, hunt, and face countless dangers entirely on their own, receiving no parental care. Although they are born with the instincts of a predator, young anacondas are easy prey for birds of prey, caimans, and even larger anacondas. According to nature's laws of survival, fewer than 10% of hatchlings survive their first years of life, eventually growing into the enormous apex predators that sit at the top of the food chain. That solitude from birth turns the life of every young anaconda into a true struggle, where only the luckiest and most adaptable individuals have a chance to survive. In the wetlands of Colombia's Amazon, the jaguar, the caiman, and the green anaconda share the same domain. Each rules in its own way, yet together they create one of the most unforgiving and perfectly balanced predator ecosystems on Earth. As the water gradually becomes calm again, after the confrontation on the riverbank, another world continues to operate silently beneath the surface. Light quickly disappears into the murky waters of the Amazon. Submerged tree trunks, tangled roots, and thick layers of sediment form a vast maze where every creature must adapt in its own way to survive. One of the most famous inhabitants of these waters is the piranha. Contrary to their fearsome image in movies, a 2005 study by Professor Anne McGurran, published in Biology Letters, revealed a very different reality. By monitoring the fish's gill ventilation rates, researchers found that when confronted with an unfamiliar object, piranhas immediately begin breathing more rapidly due to an intense fear response. Their schooling behavior is not primarily a strategy for launching coordinated attacks, but rather a form of defense. Living in schools helps lower stress hormone levels, stabilizes their breathing, and improves their chances of survival. The piranha's most distinctive weapon is its powerful jaw, lined with tightly interlocking triangular teeth that function like a pair of scissors. Each bite generates remarkable force relative to its body size, allowing it to slice easily through the tough scales of its prey. When a tooth becomes worn or breaks, the entire row is gradually replaced, ensuring maximum hunting efficiency. Living in schools not only helps piranhas find food more effectively, but also increases their ability to detect danger and reduces the risk of becoming prey themselves. But even the piranha is not the most formidable predator in these waters. Hidden among submerged trees is a creature that barely relies on speed to dominate its environment. The electric eel. Without razor-sharp teeth or exceptional speed, the electric eel depends on a weapon possessed by very few animals on Earth. Thousands of specialized electrocyte cells running along its body can generate powerful electric discharges capable of stunning fish, driving away predators, and even helping it navigate through murky water, where visibility is almost non-existent. But the Amazon River is home to more than solitary predators. A short whistle echoes beneath the surface, then another. From the distance, a family of giant otters appears.
Never share the same water at the same time.
The largest members of the weasel family, giant otters can grow to nearly 2 meters in length. They live in close-knit family groups of 5 to 10 individuals, raising their young together. Every whistle and every flick of the tail serves as a way to stay connected in the murky water.
Fish make up most of the
For giant otters, strength does not come from size. It comes from family. Their diet consists mainly of fish, though they also feed on crabs and other small aquatic animals. Every day, the family travels together along the river in search of food, while the youngest members remain safely protected in the center of the group. But the Amazon River is never truly peaceful. A caiman quietly approaches the otter family. An alarm call rings out. The adults immediately shield the pups and move toward the intruder as one. Faced with a united family, the caiman finally retreats beneath the water. Many people think the caiman is the king of the Amazon's freshwater habitats, but field research by biologist Nicole Duplay in 1980, along with reports from the IUCN, has shown that the giant otter is the true animal to fear. Known as the river wolf,
take the opportunity to
giant
advertise their territories
otters
by scent
dominate
marking the
through highly coordinated teamwork. They communicate using a system of 22 distinct vocalizations to intimidate opponents. Their large lung capacity supplies continuous oxygen to the powerful muscles they use underwater, allowing them to surround a caiman and repeatedly bite at its tail and hind legs. This strategy quickly exhausts the reptile, forcing it to retreat beneath the water to preserve its life. In the predator-filled world of the Amazon, the strongest individual is not always the one that prevails. Sometimes, unity itself is the greatest weapon a family can possess. Along the grassy riverbanks, several capybaras graze peacefully. As the world's largest rodents, they spend most of their time feeding on grasses and soaking in the water to escape the tropical heat. Their gentle nature makes them an important food source for jaguars, green anacondas, and caimans, helping maintain the balance of the food web in Colombia's rainforest. Leaving the river behind, we enter the humid forests along its banks, where much smaller creatures possess weapons powerful enough to make even the Amazon's greatest predators think twice. Amid the rain-soaked leaf litter, a brilliant yellow speck stands out against the dark forest floor. It is the golden poison frog. Measuring only about 5 centimeters in length, it is one of the most poisonous amphibians in the world. Its brilliant yellow coloration is not camouflage, but a warning to every potential predator. The skin of a single adult golden poison frog contains enough toxin to kill 10 to 20 adult humans if it enters the body. This extraordinarily powerful neurotoxin attacks the nervous system, disrupting muscle function and breathing, causing nearly every predator to avoid it. Remarkably, this frog does not produce the toxin itself. Instead, it accumulates the poison from ants and other small insects that make up its daily diet. That is why its vivid yellow coloration is not meant to conceal it, but to send the clearest possible warning to any predator. Hidden beneath that layer of leaf litter lies a world even busier than the one above. Endless columns of leafcutter ants march without pause, each carrying a leaf fragment many times larger than its own body. They do not eat the leaves themselves. Instead, they use them to cultivate a special fungus deep underground, the primary food source for the entire colony. With millions of individuals working together, these tiny gardeners help recycle organic matter and maintain the fertility of the Amazon rainforest. As the sun climbs higher, Colombia's rainforest takes on an entirely different face. If the forest floor belongs to predators, then the sky and the canopy above form a city that never stops moving. A toucan quietly perches on a branch laden with ripe fruit. Its enormous bill may appear heavy, but its hollow internal structure makes it remarkably lightweight. Beyond helping the bird reach fruit inaccessible to other species, the bill also serves as an efficient tool for regulating body temperature in the hot, humid rainforest. Farther away, familiar calls fill the air as a flock of macaws glides across the sky. Their brilliant red, blue and yellow plumage has made them one of South America's most recognizable symbols. Macaws often remain with the same mate for many years, searching for food and raising their young together. Their powerful beaks easily crack open hard seeds that few other birds can exploit, while also dispersing seeds throughout the rainforest during every flight. But the true master of the skies is astonishingly small. Among the flowers on the eastern slopes of the Andes, a hummingbird hovers almost perfectly motionless in midair. Its wings beat dozens of times each second, allowing it to fly forward, backward, and hover in front of each flower as it feeds on nectar. During every feeding trip, pollen clings to its tiny bill and is carried to the next flower, quietly sustaining thousands of Colombia's plant species. From above, the rainforest resembles a vast city built vertically. The dark, damp forest floor is where jaguars, green anacondas, and countless other creatures quietly search for food. Above lies the middle canopy, home to monkeys, sloths, and thousands of insect species. At the very top stretches the great green canopy, where harpy eagles, toucans, macaws, and hummingbirds share the sky. Each layer follows its own rhythm of life, yet all are interconnected, forming a complete ecosystem. It is Colombia's unique position between the Andes, the Amazon basin, and the Orinoco plains that has made it one of the most biologically diverse countries on Earth. Every river, every forest, and every layer of the canopy plays a role in maintaining a balance that nature has taken millions of years to create. Yet that balance is facing growing challenges. A study published in Science in 2024 warned that between 10% and 47% of the Amazon rainforest could approach a tipping point by 2050. Once that threshold is crossed, large areas of rainforest could gradually transition into dry savanna, destroying the habitat of countless animal species. In 2014, Professor William Ripple demonstrated that the loss of a single apex predator can reshape an entire forest. In reality, the disappearance of the jaguar could trigger a trophic cascade. Without an apex predator to regulate their numbers, herbivores such as capybaras can increase dramatically, placing intense pressure on vegetation and gradually disrupting the structure of the entire ecosystem. Protecting Colombia begins with preserving its primary forests, restoring degraded landscapes, and reconnecting wildlife corridors so animals can move, hunt, and reproduce safely. Preventing illegal hunting, combating wildlife trafficking, and supporting the local communities that depend on the forest are equally essential. When people are able to protect nature while maintaining their livelihoods, the rainforest has a far greater chance of surviving for generations to come. For each of us, meaningful change can begin with simple choices. Refusing to buy products made from wildlife, choosing sustainably sourced goods, reducing resource waste, and supporting reputable conservation organizations. If you enjoy stories about the natural world, be sure to subscribe to the channel and join us as we continue exploring Earth's most extraordinary wild places. Every view, every share, and every act of support for nature helps spread the value of conservation, ensuring that these stories of life can continue to be told for generations to come. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on our next adventure. There was once a dynasty that made all of Ngorongoro bow. Five brothers, one coalition, one kingdom. They ruled the grasslands through strength, loyalty, and relentless battles. But can a legend truly last forever? This is the story of Lake Quintet. Lake Quintet, the most powerful lion coalition in Ngorongoro, in the highlands of Tanzania, the Ngorongoro crater exists like a world sealed off from everything beyond it. Surrounded by sheer cliffs rising more than 600 meters high, it is one of the most extraordinary ecosystems in Africa. Its cool climate and abundant prey have made Ngorongoro an ideal land for lion coalitions. But that very isolation has also forced the lions here to face generations of inbreeding. In 2013, a coalition from outside crossed over the crater rim, bringing with it a precious new bloodline. From that moment, a stronger generation of lions was born. Lake Quintet was part of that extraordinary generation. In the Lake Pride, 5 brothers, known as LK-115, LK-116, LK-117, LK-120, and LK-123, let out their first roars. Under the protection of their mothers and the entire pride, they grew up together across the vast grasslands. Among them, LK-123 was the weakest. He often became exhausted after moments of play, but he was never left behind. Whenever LK-123 slowed down, his 4 brothers would quietly stop and wait for him to catch up. But in Ngorongoro, peace never lasts long. As the ruling coalitions began to weaken, male lions from the outside once again tried to cross the cliffs and take control of the crater. A struggle for power pulled the Lake Pride into the spiral of survival. In a single night, the 5 brothers lost their greatest support. Months of wandering along the edge of the crater, facing hunger and stronger coalitions, forged them into a bond rarely seen in the wild. For LK-123, it was the harshest period of all. But his 4 brothers never abandoned him. Those trials prepared the 5 brothers for the day they would return to Ngorongoro that had heard their first roars. Nearly 2 years after being driven from their homeland, 5 lion silhouettes appeared once again along the edge of the Ngorongoro crater. The years of living on their own had transformed the young lions they once were into 5 fully grown males with powerful bodies, dark manes, and an exceptionally strong bond. But they did not rush to reclaim the territory. For days, the 5 brothers quietly patrolled along the borders of Ngorongoro. They sniffed out fresh scent marks, listened to the roars of the occupying coalition, and silently studied their rivals' movement patterns. For male lion coalitions, victory does not come from strength alone, but from patience. An attack launched at the wrong moment can make the entire coalition pay the price. Then, the opportunity finally came. When the rival coalition temporarily split up during a patrol, Lake Quintet immediately advanced deep into the heart of the crater. The 5 brothers quickly spread into a crescent formation. The open ground was sealed off. The escape route toward the cliffs was cut off. As the dust slowly settled, the balance of power in Ngorongoro had completely changed. Lake Quintet officially seized control of the crater's core, beginning one of the most powerful lion dynasties ever recorded in Ngorongoro. No longer exiles, Lake Quintet had become the new masters of Ngorongoro. The 5 brothers crossed the grasslands, marking their territory with roars, scent, and claw marks carved into acacia trunks. Their presence quickly sent changes rippling through the entire ecosystem. The zebra herds stopped grazing all at once. With sharp eyesight and a strong instinct for living in groups, they immediately lifted their heads, scanning in multiple directions before slowly moving away from the danger zone. On the other side of the grassland, Thompson's gazelles also grew more alert. As one of the fastest antelope species in Africa, they can burst forward at speeds of more than 80 kilometers per hour. But speed only matters when the predator is still in front of them. That is why they always choose to detect danger early, rather than wait until they are forced to run. On a nearby acacia branch, a leopard silently dragged its prey higher into the tree. Unlike lions, leopards live alone and often store their food in trees to keep stronger predators from stealing the prize they spent hours hunting. Even the baboon troop changed its behavior. The adult males quickly formed a defensive line along the edge of the troop, while the females and young were moved onto higher rock outcrops. For them, detecting danger early has always been the most effective form of defense. Lake Quintet hardly needed to hunt. The mere presence of the five brothers was enough to make the entire ecosystem adjust its behavior. In Ngorongoro, power is measured not only by strength, but by the ability to make every creature around you change its actions simply because you have arrived. The five members of Lake Quintet required an enormous amount of food to maintain their massive bodies and powerful muscles, essential for daily patrols that stretched for many kilometers. For a coalition of 5 fully grown males, small prey was rarely enough to feed the entire group. To survive, they had no choice but to target larger prey, accepting far greater risks in return. In the distance, a herd of African buffalo slowly made its way toward a patch of fresh grass. Living in herds, African buffalo rely on collective strength to defend themselves against predators. The moment one individual senses danger, the entire herd quickly tightens its formation, with the adult bulls forming the outer line to protect the calves and weaker members. But that night, an old bull gradually fell behind. The gap between him and the herd grew wider. Lake Quintet seized the opportunity immediately. LK-123 was the first to close in, deliberately drawing the old bull's attention. Within seconds, his 4 brothers emerged from different directions, tightening the encirclement. Against the coalition's nearly flawless coordination, the aging buffalo was quickly overwhelmed. By the time silence returned to the night, Lake Quintet had secured a meal large enough to feed all 5 brothers. It was more than just a successful hunt. It revealed the true source of Lake Quintet's strength throughout their years of ruling Ngorongoro. Not the power of the strongest individual, but 5 brothers who always fought as a single body. The next 4 years marked the golden age of Lake Quintet. The 5 brothers gradually took control of several major lion prides throughout the crater, including the Lake Pride, Mungay Mabinti, and Lagunita. Their dominance brought not only fertile territory and prey-rich hunting grounds, but also made them the most influential males in the Ngorongoro lion population. Hundreds of cubs carrying the bloodline of Lake Quintet were born under the protection of these prides, helping create a healthier new generation after decades of inbreeding within the crater. But even the greatest years eventually faded into the past. After nearly a decade of battles, time began leaving its mark on the 5 black-maned kings. Nightly patrols spanning dozens of kilometers became increasingly exhausting. Their manes remained magnificent, but their endurance and speed were no longer what they had once been. LK-123 changed the most. Already physically weaker than his brothers since cubhood, he gradually began falling behind during patrols and spent more and more time resting beneath shrubs along the edge of the grasslands. His decline soon attracted opportunists. Spotted hyenas possess an exceptionally keen sense of smell, allowing them to detect old, weak, or injured animals from remarkable distances. They rarely risk confronting a healthy adult male lion, but they never miss the moment when an opponent's strength begins to fade. This time, their target was LK-123. One by one, the hyenas silently emerged, tightening the circle around him. Though exhausted, the aging king struggled to his feet and released a warning roar. Just as the hyena clan prepared to charge, LK-123's 4 brothers appeared, forcing them to retreat. Once again, Lake Quintet had protected their youngest brother. But it was also the first time the 5 brothers realized there was one enemy that not even the coalition that had once ruled Ngorongoro could defeat. Time. In June 2024, LK-123 was no longer recorded in Ngorongoro. Researchers believe he most likely died at the age of 11 after battling illness, although the exact cause of death remains unknown. His passing left the first empty place in what had once been an unbeatable formation. From that moment on, the balance of power in Ngorongoro slowly began shifting toward a new generation. On the far side of the crater rim, three young males, LA-132, LA-133 and LA-137, quietly watched the patrols of the four aging kings. They did not rush to attack. Instead, they waited patiently for time to finish its work. In November 2025, the opportunity finally arrived. The young trio suddenly emerged and intercepted LK-116 during a solitary patrol. The confrontation was fierce, but brief. Though he fought until his very last breath, LK-116 ultimately fell to the youth and numerical advantage of his opponents. The three remaining brothers quietly walked over to LK-116's body. Their deep, raspy roars echoed across the grasslands, a final farewell to the brother who had fought beside them for nearly a lifetime. From five brothers who had once ruled nearly all of Ngorongoro, Lake Quintet was now reduced to just three aging kings. But nature has never paused for the passing of any king. As one dynasty came to an end, the cycle of life continued throughout the crater. In another corner of the grasslands, a herd of African elephants slowly made its way toward a waterhole. The older females formed a tight protective circle, guiding the calves into the center before the herd continued on. For elephants, the herd is family, and protecting the young always comes before every danger. Farther away, a black rhinoceros mother stood silently among the thorn bushes, keeping her calf safely behind her. Despite her poor eyesight, she constantly tested the air and rotated her ears toward every unfamiliar sound. At the slightest sign of danger, she would charge without hesitation to protect her only calf. Along the cliffs surrounding the crater, a martial eagle remained quietly on guard beside its nest. Its piercing eyes never stopped scanning the vast grasslands below. Every hunting flight had only one purpose: to bring food back to the chicks waiting on the rocky ledge. Life goes on that way. The last three members of Lake Quintet continued to walk the familiar paths in silence. Though their bodies were covered with the scars of time, They carried on with their final patrols, protecting the lion prides and the new generation of cubs carrying the bloodline the five brothers had left behind. From young lions once forced to leave their homeland, Lake Quintet rose together to build one of the most powerful coalitions in the history of Ngorongoro. And although their dynasty eventually came to an end, the bond between the five brothers will forever remain the greatest legacy they left upon this land. Today, the challenges facing African lions no longer come only from rival coalitions. Climate change, shrinking habitats, and increasing conflict between humans and wildlife are making the future of this iconic predator more uncertain than ever. Conservation studies show that Africa's wild lion population has declined by approximately 43% over the past 2 decades. In Ngorongoro, prolonged droughts and fluctuations in prey populations continue to place additional pressure on the survival of lion coalitions. Protecting places like Ngorongoro is not just about preserving a single species. It is about safeguarding the balance of an entire ecosystem that has existed for thousands of years. If you enjoy authentic stories about the natural world, be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again on our next journey into the world of wildlife.